All right, here we are. We're at part 3, but before we do that, let's look at some of the things from part 2 again, just to make sure you got it. Why did the U.S. enter World War II? The last cause will be the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Where were the Japanese Americans taken? They were taken to those internment camps. And what group of people played a major role in war industry? Here is Rosie the Riveter, and these will be the ladies. What was it called when Americans lived with less so the soldiers could get away with what they needed? Do with less so they'll have enough. It's called rationing or wartime conservation. All right, and that's going to take us to where we need to be right now with the Lend-Lease program. Very good. So have your notes ready? Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so we're looking at major events of the war. Let me put that capitalized like it needs to be. Major events of World War II. Now, many battles were fought between what are the two different sides? The Allied nations and remember this is the bad guys over here, the Axis powers from 1939. This is the years of the war. It started officially in 39 to 1945. Whoa, got rid of the. So 1945, 39 to 45. World War II was truly a world war with the entire, just name the oceans here, entire Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans as battlefields. Indian Oceans as battlefields, and combat taking place on nearly every continent. This changed the way the whole world looked at war. Review the following details of 4 major World War II events. This is not everything. It's just the major events that you have to know about. The first one is the Lend-Lease Act. The Lend-Lease Act. All right, here we go. The year is March 11th, 1941, just a few months before Pearl Harbor. 9 months exactly before Pearl Harbor, Congress passed the Lend-Lease Act and amended the Neutralities Act. Remember, we were neutral. We're going to change it up so that the United States could, what are we going to be able to do? It's called the Lend-Lease Act, so we're going to be able to lend military what? Military supplies. Military supplies and or military equipment. I already have the word supplies. Equipment. You can put supplies if you want. Military equipment and supplies to, oh, this is 2 words right here, to any nation. The president said was, what did we say? Vital to the defense of the United States, to keep us out of the war. Roosevelt approved, check it out, $1 billion, $1 billion in Lend-Lease aid to Great Britain in October of what year? Make sure we get the right year. Yep, it's the same year as 41. When the United States now entered World War II, check this out. By that time, check this out. Guess how many billions we will have given? 50. Let's put it, see if we can write billion here. See if we can do it. 50. Is that billion or is that million? No, that's just million. $50 billion worth of equipment and supplies that had already been sent to Britain, France, the Soviet Union. Yes, they were on our side this time. And on our side is China. These two, Soviet Union and China, will be on the opposite side after World War II. All right, very good. Let's pause this for. All right, now we're going to look at our second major event. Yes, the Battle of Midway. Look at mid. It's going to be real important in remembering what the Midway is all about. So here we go. June 4th through the 7th, 1942. 6 months after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, the U.S. Navy won a sea battle, it should say. A sea battle against the Japanese Air Force. Okay, that was a turning point in World War II for the United States. The Japanese tried to trap and sink Americans' remaining aircraft carriers and then take the, what's the name of this place? The Midway Atoll. All right, an American, check it out. We got to have this to get our ships where we need to go. Refueling station for ships and airplanes. But the United States destroyed 4 Japanese aircraft carriers while only losing 1 American carrier. This kept the Japanese from capturing Midway. This victory is regarded as the most important naval engagement of the Pacific campaign of the war. And at the time was a huge, since we're winning over here, about time, morale boost for America. The Japanese Navy never recovered from this defeat, enabling the United States to take the war to Japan. That's right. Very good, very good, very good. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go to the third major event you have to know about, which is D-Day. I hope you all get to go visit the beaches where D-Day happened in Normandy, France. It is quite amazing. All right, here we go. June 6, 1944, getting close to the end of the war. The name of this is D-Day. It was the code name for the first day of the secret operation called Operation Overlord. Operation Overlord. The Allied invasion of, who owns this? This could be Nazi-occupied France. On June 6, 1944, it remains the, check this out, this is wild, the largest seaborne invasion in history. The largest seaborne invasion in history. Now think about all these ships. All right, with over 156,000 men crossing the English Channel in 6,939 vessels, almost 7,000 different boats. 7,000. This is a secret too. Only 7,000 boats. The German troops occupying France were caught almost completely by surprise, and although the Allies met heavily resistance in small areas, the invasion went almost exactly according to plan. From the French beaches, American and British forces pushed into East Germany because D-Day worked. This marked the, you guess what it marked? It marked the, because we wanted D-Day, the beginning of victory. I can't spell. Victory for the Allies in Europe. Not all of the whole war, but just the Allies in war. So this will be the beginning of the end of the war in Europe. D-Day. Very good. All right, here we go. Let's look at our next event. Now, we're looking at the city of Berlin, Germany. All right, this is where Hitler is, and it's going to be the fall of Berlin. So we had D-Day. Now we're going to the fall of Berlin. It's April, May 19, the last year of the war, 45. Okay, so here we go. This is just the title. The fall of Berlin was one of the final battles of the European theater during the war. And basically, this is what happens. 2 Russian army groups attacked Berlin from the, all right, they'll be on the east and south, while a third attacked German forces north of Berlin. So the Russians are attacking on three sides while the Americans and the British are coming from the west. All right. The Soviets lost, look at this, 81,160 men taking the city, while the Germans lost almost 500,000 men trying to defend it. It was one of the bloodiest battles in history. All right. Adolf, what's his name? Hitler was in Berlin during the battle, and before it ended, he and many of his followers committed suicide. He actually shot his dog or poisoned his dog and shot him and his wife. All right, and then himself. The city's defenders surrendered on May 2nd, but fighting continued outside the city until the war ended on May 8th. Much of the continued fighting was due to the Germans trying to move westward so they could. All right, why would they want to go west? Nerd. I can't spell. Surrendered. Let me spell check on that one. So surrender to Americans or British instead of to the Soviets, because the Soviets were mad. They were going to get them back. There you go. There is the fall of Berlin, the final battle in Europe. All right, our last major event of the war you need to know is about the atom bomb. All right, Allied leaders planning the war against Japan knew that once they had defeated the Japanese Navy in the Pacific Ocean, they would still have to invade, all right, Japan itself. Now, to end the war, they knew they had to invade Japan itself to end the war. They knew Japan still had a huge army. Still had a huge army that would defend every inch of the homeland. Both sides could possibly lose millions of people in the process. All right, President, not Roosevelt, because he is dead now. President Truman is going to be the one that's just going to decide what to do with Japan. Decided there was only one way to avoid an invasion of Japan and still defeat them. He would use a brand new weapon that no one had ever seen before. Here it is, atomic bomb. Bomb, 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 bomb. The American government had developed 2 atomic bombs in a secret laboratory. And you need to know this place. The city is Los Alamos, New Mexico. The bombs were dropped on Japan in early August 1945. On September 2nd, 1945, the Japanese surrendered. I can't spell. And World War II was finally over. We first dropped them on Hiroshima, and then we dropped it on Nagasaki. The project's code name was you need to know this, Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project. The implications of developing and using atomic bombs in World War II were enormous. From a military standpoint, it was clear that not only did the United States have a powerful weapon that no other country had, but the American government was not afraid to use it. The Soviet Union quickly began developing an atomic bomb of its own, an act that helped begin the Cold War. Also, nuclear power would soon be used to power aircraft carriers and submarines. Scientifically and economically, the atomic bomb led to nuclear power for home use or commercial use, such as generating electricity for homes and businesses and many other things.